Now the main leaders of the Ghadar movement was Lala Hardayal, Bhai Parmanand, okay, Kartar Singh Sarabha, Barkatullah Khan. So these were the major leaders, and their major program was to assassinate officials. This was also asked by the UPSC, that from the following programs, which are the programs associated with Ghadar Party. So first one was to assassinate officials, then it was to publish revolutionary literature, then it was to work among the Indian troops abroad and to raise funds, then it was to bring simultaneous revolt in all the British colonies. So the UPSC can just replace all with some. Okay, but the idea is all. They wanted to bring such with all. However, there were certain issues, certain weaknesses associated with the Ghadar, because in order to carry out a particular, in order to carry out a particular movement, or in order to carry out a particular assassination, you need a lot of strategy to happen. And if you do not have that strategy, automatically there might be certain failures. So that is, in order to prohibit that from happening, the Ghadarites did not do that much of development. So what can we understand here is that in the weakness of Ghadar, the major weakness was that they completely underestimated the extent and amount of preparation at every level organizational, at every level. That is, they did not give importance to organizational preparation, ideological preparation, or financial preparation, which was necessary before any armed revolt. They also underestimated the strength of the British in India, both in their armed and organizational might. Now, how did they underestimate? Now, the Britishers at that point of time, they had created spy organizations. The Britishers had spies. Now, the Britishers knew that in USA there was this Ghadar Party. Okay, so the Britishers had kept a lot of their spies active in the region, and from the spy network, the Britishers came to know, and even when the Gadarite people, they came to India to carry out certain revolt mechanisms. So these spies, they informed the Britishers about it at early hand, and the Britishers could take the things, means could take the measures in order to tackle the situation. So that was there. Moreover, the Indian political leadership and the commercial and landowning classes gave unquestioning support to the British for their war efforts. That was one thing. Apart from that, they made no secret of their plans during the voyage, and British intelligence agents who had infiltrated their ranks gave detailed reports to the government, which was fully aware of their plans earlier before their arrival. So, all of such issues were generally there at that point of time. So, this was also asked by the UPSC. When we talk about their evaluation, so these people, they promoted militant revolutionary activities, militant nationalism, but they had a completely secular aspect, means people belonging to multiple faith and religions, they were a part of the Ghadar movement. So that is going to be the scenario. Later on, they lacked organized and sustained leadership. They underestimated the extent of preparation required at all the levels. So we have already done this. So this was the aspect of the Ghadar Party when we talk. Later on, there is also going to be the scenario in the Asia. That means in Singapore, there was this particular aspect wherein 700 men of the 5th Light Infantry at Singapore revolted under the leadership of Jamadar Chisti Khan and Subodar Dande Khan. So the UPSC can ask you these names that, as I've already told you in the match the following aspect, they also failed. Okay, so this is going to be there. Now, when we talk about the revolutionary people, okay, so all these revolutionary people, we are going to see Shamji Krishna Verma during the 1905s and later on time. Then we see Madam Bhikaji Kama. Then we are going to see Virendranath Chattopadhyay. Then we are going to see the Ghadar Party. Okay, it was established in 1913. Then we are going to see Rana Pratap Sagar and everyone in 1915. Okay, so all of these revolutionaries, they were active during the 1910s. Okay, 1910s time period. Now, during the 1910s, there is going to be the World War One. Okay, the World War One, that is going to be, fought at that point of time. The World War One, which is going to be fought from 1914 to 1918 time period. Now, when we talk about the World War One, In the World War I, there were various reactions of various Indian stakeholders. Now, when we talk about those reactions in the World War I, there are three categories of reactions. The first one was moderates. So, the moderates, they supported the war in the belief that after the war is over, the Britishers in return would give certain reforms to the Indians. So that is what the moderates believed. The extremists also supported the war, that after the war is over, in return the Britishers would give us self-government. However, the revolutionaries, they believed that this war that is being fought, so the Britishers are fighting this war in Europe, and the Britishers' interest, the Britishers' attention, it is towards the war. So the revolutionaries are thinking that why not utilize this situation to fulfill our aims and agenda, that is to remove the Britishers from India. So the revolutionaries are thinking that when the British attention is towards the war in Europe, at that point of time, why not create revolt like scenario within India, and because of this, what would happen is the Britishers, because they have their attention on Europe, simultaneously a little bit of attention would be divided in India also, and maybe the Britishers could get defeated in the war in Europe, in the World War, and we can also defeat the Britishers here then. Or else the Britishers, when they are fighting the World War One, when if we do the revolt here, so they would be giving all of their attention to the World War, so it would be easier for us to defeat the Britishers in India. So the revolutionaries, they basically believed in utilizing this opportunity to fight the Britishers, to suppress the Britishers. So that was the idea here. So during the World War One, this is going to be the reaction of all of these particular parties. Okay, so that is going to be there. Now, here, this was the scenario. Now, here, what is there? Now, there is going to be homeworks. Okay, see, here, what homework I have given you? That the revolutionaries of Bengal. Okay, then the another homework is going to be, there was one incident, that is Komagata Maru and the Ghadar. And the third one, it is going to be defense of India rules 1915. So these are going to be the list of three homeworks that you are going to be doing. Now see, I can also explain this up, but the reason that I'm telling you this is that here the level of things, when you read it up, it is going to be very much diverse. Okay, multiple people associated with the Bengal Revolution, multiple people associated with the Komagata Maru and defense of India. The UPSC has asked defense of India, Komagata Maru and Bengal nationalism. So here, when you read it up, multiple things will just go in front of your eyes, so that will be there in your subconscious. And if the UPSC asks it in the further examinations, you can very well, eliminate the question because of the content that is there in your subconscious. Okay, so that is the reason I'm telling you to do it, because of the content that you will go through. So this is the homework that you will have to go through, and these are going to be the three list of homeworks that I expect you to go through. All right. So, and here, yes, one thing I had also told you that it is going to be the weaknesses of the revolt. Okay, the weaknesses of the revolutionaries. So this is means up till now we have understood things in a very detailed manner. So now what you can do is you can also go through this particular thing and you can understand it. All right, so we have gone through things in a very detailed manner, and here you can understand it, my dear friends. So that will be all for this particular session, my dear friends, and we have done this topic very much exhaustively and elaborately. Just keep in mind whatever things I explained to you in the start of the session, because that will help you a lot in your preparation. So with this, I shall end this session, and I thank every one of you for watching me, for watching Civils 360. I'll see you up in the next session. Stay safe, take care, study well. Thank you, and Jai Hind, my dear friends.